Yay! Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are joining in from. I see you. Thank God it's Friday. Yay! Good evening, my dear. How are you? I'm so excited to be here tonight. I didn't even know I have the energy to do this, but I told myself, Joy, you need to show up today. And so I'm right here to have this conversation with us tonight. And it's very important that we have this conversation. Know that in this month of June, we've been having conversations on wellness and health. Nina, how are you? Thank you so much. Nice to see you here. Mr. Shirley, thank you so much for turning up. Thank to see you. I dear, honestly, my face is still radiating from the celebration yesterday. Oh my goodness. It was so good. I've not gotten around to sharing my thoughts on what happened yesterday. I'm going to do that. And I thought tonight also is an opportunity to just share some things on what happened yesterday while, reflecting on when we talk about health and wellness, what do we mean? What other ways can we look at it? And so, if you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome to the Friday Night Hangout. I'm your host, Joy Onyeso, and it's always a delight to connect with you every Friday. Here on this show is a non judgmental space where we discuss topical issues that can help you grow your business, grow your personal brand, and we also look at, creating a safe space for us to network and for us to feel happy and to celebrate ourselves. So that's what we do on this show. So if this is your first time, thank you for coming on board. And please do make it a date with us every Friday night at 7 p.m. Okay. So tonight we're talking about health and wellness, and we're going to focus on relationships. I had to focus on this tonight because of my birthday, which happened yesterday. I'm still in my birthday week. I'm still, you know, experiencing the beauty, the love, the care from my support system, from family, from friends. And honestly, I do not take it for granted. There are a number of things I had wanted to share before my birthday, but somehow I didn't get around to doing it. And I thought that tonight, just having this conversation on health and wellness, I would use it as an opportunity to touch on some critical areas of our life that can impact on our health. And I want to start off. Hey, Aguchidema, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you in here. And I want to start off by, just looking at the thoughts. When we talk about holistic wellness, what do we really mean? And I will draw from there into the conversation on today, which is relationships. So we're looking at relationship as a key component of holistic wellness. Why do I say this? Now, when we talk about holistic wellness, we're actually looking at ways of being healthy in a manner that utilizes every part of our life, right? We're looking at the interconnected components of our lives that make us to stay healthy, that make us to be happy, that make us to feel fulfilled. And the trend these days is really on holistic wellness. Modern day science really looks at how do we ensure one can be healthy, taking into cognizance every bit of the person's life. There's a big shift from the traditional approach, which would be to say, okay, come for medicals, maybe annuals, and maybe once a year, twice a year, and if you have symptoms after 3 days, come see the doctor, right? But now there is this approach that looks at holistic wellness, where we need to look at other components of the life and how they impact on the general well-being of the person. And you know that certain things, certain lifestyle impacts on your health. So you want to be healthy, you really want to look at holistic wellness, right? Now, when we look at holistic wellness, what aspects of our lives are we looking at? One of the key areas we'll be looking at is, first of all, your spiritual wellness. You also want to look at your mental wellness, your physical wellness. And I always like to impute the financial wellness, because these components are really what make people feel happy, that what make people feel anxious. It goes a long way into determining the quality of life that you have. And when you're able to address issues in these key areas of your life, you find yourself, sorry, you find yourself living the life of your dream. Hey, Ozibeke, welcome on board. Thank you for coming on live. Onyi, how are you? Amazon, nice to have you here. Thank you so much for the celebration. I know your date is tomorrow, so we are going to be celebrating you tomorrow as well. You're a June queen. This is a shout out to all the June queens in the house. Yay, we rock, right? So, you know, um, looking at all of these factors, your spiritual health, your mental, your physical, your financial, these are very, very key components that determine the quality of life that you live. And so tonight, I want to look at the aspects of relationship. So when we talk about relationship, it has different components. It touches on most of these components. It looks at the financial part of relationship. It looks at the spiritual part of relationship. It looks at the physical aspect of relationship and the mental aspect of relationship. So relationships are very key in any human being life. No man is an island. And so you want to be very careful as to the kind of relationships that you build. So tonight I'm going to be drawing lessons and experiences from myself. Hey, my darling Eaglet, how are you doing, Yemisi? Nice to have you. Honorable Gonachi, thank you for joining in. Welcome on board. Thank God it's Friday. Thank you so much. Now, relationships, they are very critical aspects of your life, how far you grow. And so when I see people messing around with relationships, I'm so touched because I just tell myself, this individual doesn't understand the gold mine in relationships. We take a lot for granted. One of a spiritual father that I love so much would always say, who loves you in this world matters. The people in your corner matters. And you know why? The kind of people that in your corner goes a long way in determining how far you go in life. So don't joke or mess around with people. Yesterday, at some point, I didn't even know where I placed my phone. I was so busy reading, I was so busy feeling the moment. And at some point, I broke down in tears. I'm like, oh, Jesus, this is too much love. This is really too much love. And the love came from everywhere. So when I hear people say, I don't know what to give someone, then I will say to you, you've not known how to love. Because love is an action word. And when you love, you give. It is not the quality of the gift that matters, but it's the heart behind the giving that counts. And for me, when people gift you their time, when people give to you their resources, financial resources, other kinds of resources, it shows that they place a premium on you as an individual and on the relationship. And you don't want to joke with that. Now, when you see people going through stuff in life that pushes them towards depression or becoming suicidal, I would tell you, take a look at the relationship or the environment they find themselves in. There is a gap somewhere. There is a gap somewhere. And when that gap happens and one is not able to bridge it, you find yourself feeling depressed, you find yourself feeling anxious, desolate, because you feel there is no hope. You just feel that there is no hope. And that's why in relationship, I say relationship is key because it contains all the aspects of holistic wellness. In relationship, you'll find spiritual relationship. You'll talk about physical relationship, talk about financial. So there's a lot packed in relationship. And so I want us to begin to examine these key components of relationship. I will start from the spiritual relation because for me, the spiritual governs the physical. As a believer, I have so much faith in that, right? Your identity in Christ is what determines a lot of things. If you understand your purpose, if you understand why God placed you on this earth. It determines the direction you take. It determines the kind of relationship you get entangled with. It also determines the kind of actions that you take. So you don't want to joke about your spiritual connections. You want to be sure that you're connected to people, you're in a relationship with people, with institutions that can enable you be the best version of yourself. And one of the good things about spiritual relationship that it gives meaning to your life. So if you're a believer, if you understand your identity and your purpose in Christ, it gives you a certain, faith in what you're doing, in the direction you need to go. And then when God says in the book of Proverbs, when he tells us that his word is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our pathway, you begin to understand it in a deeper dimension. Right? You understand in a deeper dimension that his word anchors you, his word gives you direction. And so when you are able to find meaning in life, then you can find satisfaction. If you don't find meaning, it is difficult for you to find satisfaction. It is difficult for you to define success. So what I define as success would not be what you define as success, because I always say that success has an individual reference point. You need to know what success feels like for you. You need to understand what it looks like for you. Otherwise, you will find yourself running around in circles. You'll find yourself living your life to please others. So this is very key. You want to get entangled spiritually with people who share your value system, who understand your belief system, and they are there to support you. They are there to hold you accountable. They know when you need pampering. They know when you need a hand to hold on to. They know when you need to be left alone for you to run and make those mistakes, which, by the way, are building blocks for your success. Now, you don't want to be in a relationship that is toxic. It is not only marital relationship that can be toxic. Even when you're with friends, female friends or male friends, who do not understand where you're going to, who do not understand the value you place upon your life, who do not understand the beliefs that drive you what you do. What happens is that you become distracted. They are not able to cheer you, because then they think that if your light is shining too brightly, it dims their own light. But I want to tell us tonight that being in an environment or being in relation with people whose light shines so brightly should not make you feel intimidated, should not make you feel pressured. It should only make you, when people shine so brightly, you can take a spark from their light and you shine as well. Can you imagine when we're all shining, the brightness that will be on that pathway? So let's not look at it that people need to dim their light for your own light to shine. No, that's a very erroneous way of living. And when you live like that, what happens is you're in constant competition. So you find friends who are not really friends in the trueness of the word friendship or sisterhood, because they are always in this unhealthy competition. You have that constant need to prove that you're valuable. You have that constant need to defend yourself. You have that constant need to show that you've arrived. Hi, Egodi, welcome on board. And so when you're in a space where you feel pressured, then that space cannot be growth prone for you. You need to be in a space where you are allowed to be yourself in a way that enables you to be the best version of who God has created you to be. And that's why relationship is key. So you see, the spiritual dimension of relationship is not one that you want to joke with. If you're unevenly yoked with people who do not share your value system, do not share your belief system, what will happen is that you're walking across purpose. It could become a distraction to you in where God is leading you to. And I say this from a place of love, from a place of experience. Yesterday, I was completely at peace. I was so excited, and I was blown away by the amount of love I received. It was mind blowing. Some people came bearing it. I had, in fact, from weeks back, I said receiving gift. The prayers alone that I got, they were so inspiring. Some of my sisters took it upon themselves from the first day of June to be praying for me. If that is not love, tell me what it is. Standing in the gap, praying for me, praying for my vision. I do not take such for granted. Some people took out their hard-earned resources to gift me. Oh my goodness. The EYOM ladies, I want to say a very big thank you. This is an informal thank you to you. I'm still coming back. This is one of the best birthday I've ever experienced. And so when God said to me, new begin at a higher level, I did not even understand the depth of it. And when he said to me, on your birthday, I will show you love. Oh my goodness, I did not expect this magnitude of love. The love was amazing. The young ladies put out 2 billboards in my honor. That's a lot of money. And these are people who are gifting from their hard-earned resources. I had students in secondary school spend their hard-earned resources to give me drawings of myself. Some gave me hairband. I got a lot of gifts. Gold earring, cakes, people, all kinds of gifts you can think of. Wrappers, oh my goodness. And I don't take it for granted at all. I don't take it for granted. The calls, the celebration on Facebook. At some point, I was reading and I was crying. I was like, where do I start from to respond to people? This is the power of relationship. This is the depth of relationship. And you know what it has done to my life? The happiness that it gave to me to show me that, Joy, you are appreciated, you are loved. Do you know what it does? It adds a lot of things to my life. You know, the happiness you get, that inspiration you get, it makes you want to do more, to be all that God has created you to be. And the project the young ladies took up, I was just like, oh my goodness, to impact lives. 48 students, young girls, and hearing these young girls speak and getting to meet some of their representatives yesterday night on my birthday, I just want to say thank you. And then I had friends who took it upon themselves to key into my vision. Listen, if you're here and you're watching this, this is not a coincidence for you. You see that dream God has placed in your hands. You don't need to struggle too hard. Take it step by step. Our God is a God of process. I keep saying it, speed kills. You can't start from one and want to jump into 100. Do you know, I was reading on one of the birthday posts, I was reading from, I think it's Mary Okpara, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm mentioning this name for verification. I read when Mary Okpara said, when she was responding to the birthday message on my wall, she said, um, Joy, you from your teenage age, you've been like this. You've shown so much love. You've been so consistent in caring, in leadership qualities, and in being a mother hen. I'm not surprised how far you've gone. You know, sometimes you need to see this and hear it from people who knew you or who know you far back for you to see how much you have grown. And when I read that from Mary, I was like, wow, I didn't know that it's been, yes, I know there are a number of things I've been doing right because I've been intentional. But sometimes you will not know how far you've been doing some of these things. And then reading from someone who knows you well or who knows you to an extent for some years and can show the consistency in you, it should be for you like, you're doing well. At the same time, be open to feedback. Some people will come with certain things which doesn't represent who you are. Do not draw it in. You need to have a thick skin to take in feedback, know the one to take and run with, and know the one to discard that doesn't represent you, right? And so yesterday was for me just it was a validation of a whole lot of stuff. And I was like, God, thank you for this. I'm inspired. Now, a couple of my friends, yes, I enjoyed my day thoroughly. I didn't even know where I dropped my phone at some point. A couple of my friends, though I kept coming to Facebook to say, I know there's something up. It was so much. From my children, my team members. Hey, they came together, contributed money for me to go to the spa. And with all due, with all humility and all that, my spa treatment is not 10 kobo. I indulge myself at least once a month. And for them to have put down that tens of thousands to gift me to go for my spa treatment. And I usually travel out of Enugu for my spa treatment. And my team members, my staff came together and contributed their hard-earned salaries to gift me. I don't take it for granted at all. In fact, I jumped up when they made that. They told me to go and pamper myself. That is the power of relationship in your holistic wellness. Do you know the excitement I got yesterday? Then a group of my friends came together. And do you know what they gifted me? They gifted me a boss for my foundation. When I tell you I'm still trying to articulate my thoughts, I'm going to do a Facebook Live on this. They gifted me a boss for my foundation. Boss, not small boss. Boss for my foundation. And you know what? Few months back, I have been talking about getting a boss for my foundation. I was like, the level of work we're doing now, that we need to get boss to make it easier for us to go to the places we go to and to serve people better. And then this happened. This happened. I was already talking about buying a bus. I started making plans to buy a bus. And so they just said, wow, this lady will go and buy a bus. And they gifted me a bus to my foundation. If I don't know how, I'm still in shock. I'm still in awe of what happened yesterday. The kind of gift I got yesterday. I got all levels of gift. A bus. I didn't add 10 kobo inside it. These are friends who are keen into my vision. So listen, whatever you're doing, just keep doing. As long as the tensions are right, just keep your focus and keep doing it. When I do what I do, I don't do it because I want people to praise me. I don't do it because I want people to take note of me. For many of the people I even support, I don't even know most of them. I won't even get to meet most of them. I just do as is laid in my heart. And this makes me happy. It makes me feel satisfied. If you read what I wrote about myself 2 or 3 days ago, I said one of the unique gifts I have is a unique gift of building. I am uniquely placed to build women. I'm uniquely placed to help women find their purpose in life. And I do not take that mantle God has placed upon my life for granted. So if you're here tonight, one of the ways of finding deep satisfaction is by serving others. And don't tell me you don't have anything to gift. You have your time. You see, your time is very important. And so if you bring out your time to volunteer, if you bring out your time to actively listen to other people and provide support, sometimes people are just looking for who to talk to, who to vent, who to just tell them, sister, you're okay, I got your back, everything will be fine. That's all they need. They do not need the money. And so you can be that person. It helps your mental life. It helps your spiritual life. When God has placed something in our hands for us to use in blessing people. Remember the story of the talent. When God gives you and you use it and He grows it, and you can do a lot. One way of staying healthy is by being happy. One way of being happy is by finding satisfaction. One of the ways of finding satisfaction is to find meaning in life. You're not just existing to make money. You're existing to find meaning, to be satisfied, to be happy, and to create a legacy. That is why God created us. And so you want to live a healthy life. This is what you need to do. You need to find the reason why God has created you and do it. And when you do that, that's one of the holistic approaches to being healthy. You will not be stressful. When people get so stressed, I say this because the kind of job I do, because I wear a lot of cap, it pushes me into a state of stress most of the time. And when I learned how to manage my stress level, first of all, what I did was to find, you see these steps I've told you. These are the steps where I've gone through. This is one of the best days I've done without stress. I've just been looking so myself, so relaxed, so why? I found meaning. So when you find meaning in life, you find satisfaction. You become happy because you're satisfied. And when you're happy, you can impact happiness, you can create legacies. If you're not happy, you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot. So there is a deeper meaning to life than just making money. You're here to create value and to create transformation, and that can help you live a long life. That can take care of, some of the diseases that we go through today, health-wise, is as a result of stress. It's as a result of anxiousness, unhappiness. And so if we can practice holistic wellness, it takes care of all these peke illness and the big illnesses and diseases as well. You cut it from the root. And that's why these days they're advocating for holistic wellness. A lifestyle change. You can't work so hard that you can't make out time to enjoy yourself. My team members will tell you, this woman works like a bulldozer. But you see, making out time to enjoy myself, making out time to relax with my people, I don't joke with it. I don't joke with it at all. I see Elder here. Elder, God bless you so much. Thank you so much. In fact, I have not come with my formal. I have not come with my formal appreciation yet. Rosemary Ume ED, God bless you. She ran away from me for almost 3 weeks, and finally reappeared yesterday. She was afraid that I would understand what was happening. Onyobara Chizoba. Ozzy, exactly. When you find meaning, you find satisfaction. And that's the holistic wellness we're talking about. Your spiritual, your physical, your mental. And so even relationships. So if Chinelo, laugh with me, oh, if you've not discovered yourself, you've not gotten meaning out of life, to be in a meaningful relationship is difficult. It's so difficult. Very difficult. And so nobody will gift you happiness. You need to be happy first, bring it to the table, and then other people can help and expand it. So yesterday my happiness was expanded by all the love I got from different quarters, from my children, from my husband, from my friends. From It was a lot of love and appreciation, and it has added a number of years to my lifespan. I'm still living in the euphoria of that moment. And that's why I've not even come out yet to express my deep appreciation. And so tonight I just said I have to talk about relationship as a pathway to holistic wellness. Exactly, only one way of being happy is to find satisfaction. That is key. And one way of finding satisfaction is to find meaning. So you find meaning, you find satisfaction, it gives you happiness, and then you're able to create transformation and create all of that. So don't take it for granted. You want to deal with stress, you want to deal with so many types of cancers are caused by stress, but unhealthy lifestyle, right? So tonight I'm just focused on relationship. There's a part for physical exercise and all of that, but tonight is on relationship. And in relationship, you can find all of these components. So please be mindful what you do with people in your life. Be mindful how you honor access. It is not worshiping. There are certain people in my life that no matter what they do to me, I can never cast them away. I can never stand in judgment against them. I can never be found to use this my mouth or my heart to think about evil or bad for them, because they've paid the price to be in my life, for all seasons. There need to be those kind of people in your life. Do not become, you don't want, some of us don't want to be accountable, sadly. In this generation, many of us don't want to be accountable to anything. It's my life. Do look as I be or whatever. You want to behave anyhow and you want to treat people anyhow. No, it doesn't work that way. There are people for even if they have become so horrible, according to your standard, you can exist without being dramatic, but you still remain respectful for what they have done. So it is not okay when I see people playing around with valuable relationships. I'm like, how? What is the value system here? And you know what? You can't be happy when you do that kind of thing. And when you're not happy, there's something in your mind. No matter how much you lie to the people and everywhere, at the back of your mind, subconsciously, your mind will telling you you're doing wrong by this person. You are not doing right by this person. There's some people you would honor for the sacrifice they have done in your life. You can't begin because you have grown beyond them according to your standard. You feel that finished. Do I need this bridge? You throw it away. I do not burn bridges at all. I do not. I nurture relationships. And when I feel it's not serving me or it has become toxic, I exit without drama. And even when I exit, you will not have me talking evil or speaking bad about those people who were there for me when I needed them to be there for me. And that's why when you look at some of the relationship in my life, some of them span as far back as 30 years, 35 years, 25. I do not joke with relationships. I do not joke at all. This evening, one of my very close, one of my close friends, my sister's husband, who lives in the UK, was speaking to me tonight, and he was like, Joy, I just want to appreciate you. When I see how far you've come with my wife, how many years. He was not reminding me when we met, for the first time, when he was toasting my friend for the first time. And I was laughing, I'm like, we've come a long way. How many years? Over 30 something years. And we're still close. It's now become, a family relationship, sisterhood. That's what we have. Some of you just throw people away anyhow. anyhow because you think you have grown. You start dishonoring people anyhow. My dear, you can't be happy. You can't be happy that way. So you want to have a life that is open, that is accountable, that values relationship, and then it contributes to your total health. You'll be happy, you'll be satisfied, and you know, no matter how grounded you are, there are points in your life where you need people. You need certain kind of people to motivate you. You need certain kind of people to tell you, well done, you're doing right. That is why, as a human being, you're interconnected. You cannot be so. There was this argument I saw sometime on some people where they said humility is that they cannot be humble, humility is not good. And I just smiled. I said, well, for them maybe humility is a bad thing, but what I know is that humility is an asset, is a value system. And every word can have different depending on the context you use it in. And when you apply within the context of my spiritual, my you realize that there is a God who is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and you're a mere mortal. And so that there is a level of doings that you cannot get in. There's a certain height you achieve. You know it is not just by your own doings. That there is a force, that there is a grace that is upon you that has enabled you to get to that point. And that's the humility I'm talking about. So when people talk about humility, beginning why if you don't want humility, that if you're humble, it means you're no. Is that level? I'm not talking about there's a difference between being humble and being stupid. They are two different things. They are not the same thing. So that I'm humble doesn't mean you walk all over me as a footmat. No. That's I'm self-aware, very self-aware. So humility is a value system. That's it, Chinelo. It's a value system. And so don't let anybody make you feel bad that you're humble. But know that there's a difference between stupidity and humility. So that you need to know the difference, right? It doesn't mean that when you're humble, people turn you to a footmat. No. It just means that you recognize that there's a power that is above you, and there's a grace that can speak for you, that makes the little things that you do be like saying that big things where you they do. And that is what I do not take for granted at all. At all. Exactly. Humility is not timidity, is not stupidity at all. It's not. They're two different things, right? And so, my dear, that's what I bring to you tonight. I just want to leave this as food for thought. What are you taking away with from our conversation tonight? Please use the chat box. I want to be sure that we served some value tonight. What is the value of the conversation tonight? Remember that we are talking about health and wellness, and tonight we're looking at relationship as being a key component of your holistic wellness. And I looked at the different components of holistic wellness: your spiritual, your physical, your financial, your mental, wellness. And I said that relationship is very integral to all of these components, and that we should not joke with relationship. Be very practical, be very intentional about who comes into your space and why you're going into certain relationship. Periodically evaluate your relationship. I call it an audit of relationships. You need to audit your relationship periodically to see which relationship is serving you, to see which relationship has gotten toxic. You need certain relationship to hold you accountable. You need certain relationship to expand your happiness quotient. And all of these are what makes you feel satisfied. These are what makes you find meaning in life. You cannot live in isolation and then you're satisfied. God did not create us to be in isolation. Even the creation story, after creating, He created the animals in twos. He created man and He saw it was good. And out of his rib, He created a woman because He said it was not good for man to be alone. So, how do you think God wants you to be alone? Yes, you may have been betrayed, but I tell you, you're not the only good person out there. It is very arrogant of you to assume that because you've been betrayed several times, that you're the only person with a good value system. There are other people out there. You just need to ask the Holy Spirit to direct you to find people who share your value system, who understand your belief system, and who are not afraid to cheer you on. They are not afraid of your greatness. They are not afraid of your light. And they know that you do not need to dim your light for their own light to shine. Thank you, Honorable Go. She says we need to build strong relationship for holistic wellness. Yes. I just says we cannot live in isolation and be satisfied. Chinelo says nurture relationships and be careful how you burn bridges. I got value tonight. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And so next week Yes, Ozima said, value relationships. When you find meaning, you find satisfaction. Don't burn bridges. Humility is a virtue and it's totally different from stupidity or timidity. Excellent. I love this. Keep it coming in. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So thank you so much for always coming on board for the Friday night hangout. I really thrive in this space. Thank you for being a member of this tribe. We are going higher. We're going higher, and very soon we'll get to our permanent space, right? We just keep improving, just keep doing the work you're doing. It doesn't matter if people are not seeing it. You're not doing it for people to recognize you. You're doing what you do because it's the right thing to do, and that you've been called to do that. Run with that mantle God has placed in your life, and know that when you're happy, when you live intentionally, it affects everything about you. It helps you to live a stress-free life. Don't push yourself beyond your level in terms of what you can readily afford. I didn't talk about financial wellness tonight. We're going to do that as we wrap up next week on health and holistic health, wellness and health next week Friday. Make it a a point of duty to join us next week Friday while we wrap up this conversation for the month of June. I'm so really excited, right? Friday next, we're going to wrap up this conversation, and I invite you to make it a point of duty to be with us live as we take this conversation to the conclusion for the month of June. This is still my best month, and I wish you all the best. I pray that God will bless you, bless the endeavors of your hand, and I wish you a very beautiful, restful, and blessed weekend. I'm going to have a blast this weekend. I had friends who came in from all over, and some of them are still around. Tomorrow morning, we go on the prayer walk, and I still have some hangouts tonight and tomorrow with some friends, and I'm just excited. Live life, find meaning, identify with people who bring out the best in you, and just know that the fact you've been betrayed doesn't mean that there are no good people out there. I have wonderful support system. I do not take them for granted, and I do know that you can find such. Strategic relationships are very important in you fulfilling your purpose and your mandate, and do not joke with such people God has brought into your life. Also realize that God brings people into your life for seasons and some people for all seasons. Discernment and wisdom is knowing when such relationship is for a season and some is for all season. I love, honor, and celebrate you. I look forward to seeing you next week Friday. So bye for now until I see you next week Friday. Keep thriving, keep living, keep enjoying. I love you so much. Bye.